So the next thing I want to talk about very briefly for right now is lights, just because there are some in here and we need to know what's going on, um, just so we can function with some of the stuff that we're doing this week. So you've been technically dealing with lights all along, but you've been dealing with sort of a default light that's tied to a camera. And doesn't cast any shadows or anything like that. So we can see right now that the top of the table is dark, ish. The underneath of this is, if we look at the fishbowl, there's some shading over here, the highlights in the front. I know there's a display glitch with this, I'll go over that in a minute. But as I rotate around, the lighting follows us, right? It's so what side is dark and what side is light is changing because the light is coming with us. So right now this one is dark, but if I turn around this way, this is dark because the light is always over here. Like there's like a light behind us in the camera. Um, if you want to use actual lights in a scene, you have to go up to this thing where it says lighting and say use all lights. Now when I do that, suddenly the lighting does not change. It doesn't follow me because it's coming from actual lights in the scene. Very, very briefly. The lights are here. They have transform nodes. They have what's called the shape node. There's no geometry though. There's no mesh. It's just a few settings. Intensity is how bright the light is. Color is, the color of the light. Yes, light has color. Not all light is blue. Or not all light is white. So I can make the exterior light bluish. I can make the interior light orangey, which would probably make the whole room a little bit green. So what three lights do I have going on here? Well, I have three of the four most common types of light. Again, very briefly. A directional light will shine light on particular surfaces in a particular direction, no matter what's in the way, no matter what's going on. It's basically sunshine. So if I turn this up so that we can like really see it, it's stupid bright. It doesn't matter where I put it. See how nothing happens? Because it goes in this direction regardless. If I want to change a directional light, I have to change the direction it's pointing in. We're going to turn that back down. There we go. A spotlight, it doesn't look like a spotlight right now because I like completely, there we go, blew this thing out. There it is. So that looks like a spotlight. Where it's a cone of light that comes down like this. And there's nothing casting shadows right now, otherwise you wouldn't see below the table. You can, over here, turn on shadows. See how it does that? And so this wall creates this shadow. It's not great. It's not terrible. So the way the spotlight works is there's a cone angle here. And in order to make it like an interior light, I like really blew it up. Because interior lights, they have a direction, but they're not tiny. They're not actual spotlights. And then this penumbra angle, you can blow it up in either direction, but it makes it real fuzzy. I said the drop off turn down. Oh, no decay for sure. And if I turn off shadows, there we go. I think I also turned this up. I kind of want my settings back. Oh, here we go. You can make the slider go to further numbers. You just type a further number in. So -10 was the furthest it let me go before, but I was like, that's not what I had. I know I had like a softer light in here, and I just typed in the number -20 and suddenly it got better. And so now I can actually make it the way I want, which is the light is kind of shining down here, and it kind of rescales the slider to something that's more helpful. I wonder what it looks like. Yeah, see, those shadows are like so extreme, but it's far more interesting. Right? That there's no light under the table. What's very interesting to me is that the shadows cast are real sharp, but the light directly thrown is very, very diffuse. That has to do with this being a preview. This is not a real render. And there are a few settings that I could turn on, but the reality is, will that even change anything? Probably not. Until we like actually go to render, these settings aren't gonna do anything. And we're not getting to rendering yet. But I just want to explain to you what's going on with the lights, because over the next couple weeks we have things that will involve actual lights so you can see how things are working. Now, just real quick. As is typical of this program, there's a display glitch in this camera that I didn't see until I transferred it to this file, and suddenly with a different lighting I went, oh dear. I'm always telling people when geometry is wrong, it will tell you. This is wrong. Took me a bit of investigating. It turns out there's, with help from someone in class who pointed out something, the faces are intersecting. And if I select this edge loop and bring it in, that problem is solved. Now, that's not the only problem with this. There is a problem also, at least with the regular lighting. Yeah, it's, it like can't see in there. And it might be because the surface is in the wrong direction. So that is something, I know it looks better in this light, but if you see something wrong in any particular light, it warrants investigating right away before you get too into things. So like doing a test render, or changing the lighting, or like taking a closer look at the faces, or whatever it is that needs to happen. Let me see here. Yeah, the fact that this looks like this is very weird. Aha. Can already see. That should not be like that. So there's definitely some stuff going on. Undo. So this is the kind of thing where you'd have to take some time and figure out what was going on, and make sure you're prepared to like make some changes before you got, again, too deep into the weeds. But the fact that it works under this light and not the other light, that's not a good sign. Things should work under all lights. That's Maya's way of telling you that something is broken.